As I look back on the last 4 years, I'm so grateful that Explicit has been able to help over 7,000 young people, parents, and leaders around the world. And you can help us reach our goal for 2019, which is to help 10,000 people through our events, our new university course, and through our resources. Let's lift up the cause together, changing lives, changing culture, and leaving a legacy for generations to come.
Hi, so my name is McCall. One of the things I had struggled with in my life, in high school especially, was pornography and lust.
Okay, Trisha, Mark, you got to tell us, what did you think about the Parent Track?
Hi, my name's Landon, and I just want to read a testimony from a student who experienced an Explicit Movement conference.
My husband and I, we do the Young Professionals Ministry together. We have about 8 couples that have gotten married in the last 3 years, and all of them have attended an Explicit event at some point.
My name is Carla, and this is my story of just how I have encountered Explicit Ministries and how it has impacted my life. When I was 5 years old, I was molested at a really young age, so I carried a lot of shame and just bitterness at myself because I didn't know what was going on because the church never talked about this stuff to me.
My mom was telling me about the conference, Explicit, and I was like, you know, Mom, I don't really want to go. And she was like, well, okay, you should just think about going. And so I ended up going to the conference, and there was something that had happened to me. You know, I tried everything that I could do to set myself free. I tried to manage myself. I tried to control myself. And all that stuff began to fall right through. But it wasn't until that I found out that freedom was a person, and his name was Jesus.
I didn't even want to leave. She prayed over us parents for us to share our past. We knew that we were already going to, but she prayed for healing over us if we've been sexually abused.
Then when I was 16, I was sexually raped, thinking that I wasn't holy enough or I wasn't good enough to step into the church again. Right after that, my mom told me, you need to go to this event. It's Explicit. And I was just like, I don't know, I was still kind of shy, I was still a lot of shame. And I ended up going, and I remember just sitting there shaking in my seat like, why has no one ever talked about this stuff to us?
This is what he says. He says, I didn't realize how much I'm not alone in my struggles and sins. I've been struggling with lust, pornography, masturbation for years. And from that, I felt so much shame and only shared the struggle with my mentor. This conference is needed for every high school student. It explicitly talks about many topics that are perceived as bad or shameful, so no one really talks about it.
And that is something to me that sets Explicit Movement apart.
It catapulted me into a relationship with Jesus.
About loving yourself and forgiving yourself and just how he's created these things and we're all beautiful, and I just remember just crying, and it began this beautiful journey of healing for me.
Yeah, it was good for me because it was able to identify some things that I think are really holding me back from really just being able to love my kids and just to be the father that God designed me to be, to set them free and to be able to let them grow who God designed them to be.
We have about 8 couples that have gotten married, and all of those couples have waited to have sex until after marriage.
Explicit Movement brought a greater change into my life, that it can do the same thing for you.
Knowing that oh, I'm not the only one who's going through this. And it honestly was we can walk this out together. That's honestly what really changed my life.